The secret life of the Sun Conure. Deep within the emerald canopies of South America's tropical rainforests, a flash of brilliant gold and orange cuts through the dappled sunlight. The Sun Conure, Aratinga solstitialis, is one of nature's most vibrant masterpieces, yet behind its stunning exterior lies a complex world of intelligence, social dynamics, and survival strategies that few people ever witness. These remarkable parrots lead lives far more intricate than their captive counterparts suggest, navigating a world where beauty, brains, and community bonds determine their fate. A living flame in the forest. The Sun Conure's appearance is nothing short of spectacular. Their heads and bodies glow with intense golden-yellow plumage that seems to capture and amplify the tropical sun itself. Orange flames dance across their wings, while deep blue flight feathers provide a striking contrast that becomes visible only when they take to the air. Their bright orange beaks and dark, intelligent eyes complete a portrait that has captivated humans for centuries. But this brilliant coloration serves purposes far beyond mere aesthetics. In the wild, Sun Conures use their vivid plumage as a sophisticated communication system. The intensity of their golden feathers can indicate health status to potential mates, while subtle variations in coloration help individuals recognize family members within large flocks. Young birds display more muted tones, gradually developing their full brilliance as they mature, a process that takes nearly 2 years to complete. The bird's size is perfectly adapted to their arboreal lifestyle. Measuring approximately 12 inches from beak to tail and weighing just over 4 ounces, they possess the ideal proportions for navigating dense forest canopies. Their zygodactyl feet, with 2 toes pointing forward and 2 backward, provide exceptional gripping power on branches of varying sizes, while their strong, curved beaks serve as versatile tools for feeding, climbing, and nest excavation. Masters of the canopy highway. Sun Conures inhabit the vast tropical forests of South America, from the Guianas through Venezuela, Brazil, and into parts of French Guiana and Suriname. Within these ecosystems, they've developed an intimate knowledge of what researchers call the canopy highway, an intricate network of branches, vines, and aerial pathways that connect different forest layers and feeding zones. Their daily movements follow predictable patterns that have been refined over thousands of years of evolution. Dawn finds them leaving communal roosts in tall, emergent trees, their raucous calls serving as both territorial announcements and family roll calls. These morning flights are spectacular displays of aerial coordination, with flocks of 20 to 30 individuals moving in synchronized waves across the forest canopy. The birds navigate using a combination of visual landmarks, magnetic fields, and social cues passed down through generations. Experienced adults lead younger birds along traditional routes to seasonal feeding grounds, teaching them the locations of reliable food sources, safe roosting sites, and potential dangers. This cultural knowledge transfer is crucial for flock survival and represents one of the most sophisticated examples of animal education in the natural world. The art of forest foraging. Wild Sun Conures are opportunistic omnivores whose diet varies dramatically with seasonal availability. Unlike their seed-focused captive counterparts, wild birds consume an incredibly diverse array of foods that shape their daily routines and social structures. Their primary diet consists of fruits, seeds, flowers, buds, and occasionally insects, but the specifics change throughout the year in response to forest phenology. During the wet season, when fruit abundance peaks, Sun Conures become fruit specialists, targeting species like wild figs, palm fruits, and various berries. Their feeding behavior during this period is highly social, with entire flocks descending on productive trees in feeding frenzies that can last for hours. These gatherings serve multiple purposes beyond nutrition. They're opportunities for social bonding, mate selection, and information exchange about other food sources. The dry season presents greater challenges, forcing the birds to become more versatile foragers. They turn their attention to flower nectar, tree buds, and the protein-rich growing tips of various plants. During these leaner months, Sun Conures demonstrate remarkable problem-solving abilities, using their beaks and feet in tool-like fashion to access hidden food sources. They've been observed stripping bark to reach insects, manipulating tough seed pods with coordinated beak and foot movements, and even hanging upside down to reach otherwise inaccessible flowers. One of their most fascinating foraging behaviors involves clay consumption at natural mineral licks, known locally as kulpas. These exposed clay banks along riverbanks provide essential minerals that help neutralize toxins from certain fruits and seeds. The sight of hundreds of colorful parrots gathering at these locations represents one of the Amazon's most spectacular wildlife displays, and for Sun Conures, these visits are crucial for maintaining their health and reproductive success. Complex social architectures. The social life of Sun Conures revolves around a sophisticated hierarchy that governs everything from feeding order to mate selection. Flocks typically consist of multiple family groups, each maintaining distinct positions within the larger community structure. Dominant pairs occupy the best feeding spots and safest roosting locations, while subordinate individuals must wait their turn or seek alternative resources. Communication within these groups is remarkably complex, involving dozens of distinct vocalizations, body postures, and visual displays. Their famous loud calls, often criticized by pet owners, serve crucial functions in the wild. Contact calls maintain flock cohesion during flight and foraging, while alarm calls can distinguish between different types of threats. Subtle variations in pitch, duration, and repetition convey specific information about food quality, danger levels, and social intentions. Researchers have identified what appears to be regional dialects among different Sun Conure populations, with birds from different areas exhibiting slight variations in their calls. Young birds learn these vocal patterns from their parents and flockmates, suggesting that Sun Conures possess a form of cultural transmission similar to that found in some songbirds and marine mammals. Social grooming plays a vital role in maintaining flock bonds and establishing hierarchies. Pairs and family members engage in extensive mutual preening sessions that serve both practical and social functions. These interactions help maintain feather condition in hard-to-reach areas while reinforcing pair bonds and family relationships. The patterns of who grooms whom within a flock reveal the underlying social structure and can predict behavior during conflicts or breeding seasons. Love and partnership in the treetops. Sun Conure courtship and reproduction represent some of the most complex behaviors in the avian world. These birds are predominantly monogamous, forming pair bonds that can last for many years, though some individuals may change partners between breeding seasons. The courtship process begins during the dry season, several months before actual nesting begins. Male Sun Conures employ a variety of strategies to attract mates, from elaborate aerial displays to the presentation of choice food items. Courtship feeding is particularly important, with males demonstrating their foraging abilities and commitment by regularly regurgitating food for their chosen partners. These interactions serve as both bonding activities and practical assessments of a male's ability to provide for future offspring. Nest site selection is a critical decision that often determines reproductive success. Sun Conures are secondary cavity nesters, meaning they don't excavate their own holes but instead modify existing cavities in trees. Competition for suitable sites can be fierce, with established pairs often returning to the same locations year after year. The female leads the nest preparation process, using her beak to shape the cavity interior and create a suitable environment for egg laying. The breeding season typically coincides with a transition from dry to wet season, ensuring that peak food demands from growing chicks align with maximum resource availability. Females lay between 2 and 5 eggs, which they incubate for approximately 24 days. During this period, males take on increased foraging responsibilities, often making dozens of feeding trips per day to support their incubating partners. Chick rearing is a cooperative effort that extends beyond the immediate pair. In some populations, researchers have observed helper behavior, where non-breeding individuals assist with feeding and nest defense. This cooperative breeding system may be an adaptation to the challenges of rainforest life, where successful reproduction requires maximum effort from all available adults. The challenges of forest life. Life in the rainforest presents Sun Conures with numerous challenges that shape every aspect of their behavior and ecology. Predation pressure is constant, with threats coming from both aerial and arboreal predators. Hawks and falcons pose the greatest danger during flight, while snakes, monkeys, and other mammals threaten roosting and nesting birds. Sun conures have evolved sophisticated anti-predator strategies that rely heavily on their social structure and communication systems. Sentinel behavior is common, with designated individuals maintaining watch while others feed or rest. These sentinels use specific alarm calls to indicate different types of threats, allowing the flock to respond appropriately whether the danger comes from above, below, or within the canopy. Habitat destruction represents an increasingly serious challenge for wild sun conure populations. Deforestation for agriculture, logging, and development has fragmented their habitat and reduced the availability of suitable nesting sites. Large, old-growth trees with natural cavities are particularly vulnerable to removal, creating a shortage of breeding locations that limits population growth. Climate change is adding another layer of complexity to their survival challenges. Shifting rainfall patterns affect fruit production cycles, while increasing temperatures can impact egg viability and chick survival rates. Some populations are showing signs of adaptation, adjusting their breeding timing and expanding their dietary flexibility in response to changing environmental conditions. Intelligence and problem solving. Recent research has revealed that sun conures possess cognitive abilities that rival those of much larger parrot species. In the wild, they regularly demonstrate problem-solving skills, memory capabilities, and social learning that suggest complex mental processes. Their ability to remember the locations and timing of seasonal food sources across vast forest areas indicates sophisticated spatial and temporal memory systems. Tool use, while not as elaborate as that seen in some corvids or larger parrots, has been documented in wild sun conures. They use sticks to extract insects from bark crevices and manipulate objects to access hard-to-reach food items. More impressively, they show evidence of teaching these techniques to their offspring, suggesting that tool use behaviors can be culturally transmitted within populations. Their social intelligence is particularly remarkable. Sun conures can recognize dozens of individual flockmates, remember complex social relationships, and adjust their behavior based on the social context. They engage in what appears to be deceptive behavior, such as giving false alarm calls to displace competitors from prime feeding locations, indicating an understanding of how their actions affect others' behavior. Conservation and future challenges. Wild sun conure populations face an uncertain future as human activities continue to impact their forest habitats. While they're not currently listed as endangered, their dependence on large tracts of continuous forest makes them vulnerable to habitat fragmentation and degradation. Conservation efforts must address both direct habitat protection and the broader ecosystem health that supports their complex ecological needs. The pet trade has historically impacted wild populations, though international regulations have reduced legal capture. However, illegal trafficking continues in some areas, particularly targeting young birds during the breeding season. This pressure, combined with habitat loss, has led to local population declines in some regions. Climate change represents perhaps the greatest long-term challenge for sun conure populations. As temperature and rainfall patterns shift, the delicate timing between their life cycles and food availability may become disrupted. Their ability to adapt to these changes will largely determine their survival prospects in the coming decades. Conclusion. Guardians of the canopy. The secret life of the sun conure reveals a species far more complex and fascinating than their role as colorful pet birds might suggest. In their natural habitat, they serve as crucial seed dispersers, helping maintain forest diversity and regeneration. Their social complexity rivals that of many mammals, while their cognitive abilities continue to surprise researchers. Understanding and protecting these remarkable birds requires recognizing them not just as beautiful individuals, but as integral components of one of Earth's most complex ecosystems. Their survival depends on maintaining the vast forest networks they navigate, the seasonal rhythms they follow, and the social structures that define their existence. As we continue to learn more about their secret lives, sun conures remind us that intelligence, beauty, and ecological importance often go hand in hand. They represent the incredible diversity of life that tropical forests support, and the urgent need to protect these irreplaceable ecosystems for future generations. In saving their forests, we preserve not just the sun conures themselves, but but the countless other species that share their remarkable world in the canopy.